Good day, fellow skier. I'm out in Chile today and I'm gonna try the new Carv 2 ski training device for becoming a better skier. That was good skiing there. It did a good job pushing me.
And we're just gonna zoom into some of the turns.
That was such a good run and I love skiing.
You guys have done great. It's dope.
A little disclosure here. We have a load of conflicts of interest here. Number one, Carv flew me out here to try this new thing. Number two, they've been sponsoring content in the last few seasons and the upcoming one too. And three, I run a ski school where we run ski camps, which makes me want to say shit, so you come to our camps where I can train you. And number three, at these camps I actually use Carv to help make our students much better. My last invoice of buying Carv stuff was almost $9,000. Oh, yikes, I buy a lot of these things because I think they're pretty great, but they're not perfect. Let's get started. The hardware. Sometimes to talk about the new, you need to talk about the old first. It looked like this: pressure sensitive footbed and a power pack in the back. And this was pretty damn neat and revolutionary in skiing. But they had some big issues. So if you look at the thinnest part in the front, it is measuring here 2.5 millimeters. It's impressively thin. And then here where the motion sensor sits, you get 4.5 millimeters here, which is just this tiny part. And those 2.5 millimeters here, I think is fine for the beginner intermediate skiers. They usually don't have such tight fitting boots. But more advanced skiers like myself, this was a real problem. And also when using them in camps, we broke a lot of cables, and the cable is one that you've never seen before. You also used to charge it with, and this has been a little bit annoying. So let's look at the new stuff. The Carv 2.0 looks so nice, so much smaller. Anti-stick. Oh yes, USB-C. I wish everything in my home ran on a USB-C, from my microwave to my car and everything in between. But no footbed.
But how is that going to work?
So now going forward, they've jammed the motion sensor that was in the footbed into the little device. And the pressure sensor goes. I wonder what cost and what metrics we might lose on this, and if it's worthwhile the trade. The cool thing now is that you can just stick it on anywhere on the boot. No faff without freaking boot liner, something like that, anywhere. And it will get the data. Once in your boot, you just gotta connect them to your phone, which didn't work immediately for me today. We had to plug it into a power bank first to kind of activate the sensors. And then it worked immediately. And there was no need anymore to calibrate them, which is so nice. Less steps, more skiing. Consider joining one of our ski technique camps for adults, where we combine level 4 expert ski instructors with Carv Digital Ski Coach to take your skiing to the next level. That was good skiing there. Here's something really fun. I just look at the segment there. It calculated that I did 4 medium long turns with a radius of 7 meters. And then I did 20 short turns with a radius of 5 meters at a tempo of 69 turns per minute. Sounds exhausting. I think that's why I'm a bit out of breath, that I'm being high up. So I think that's pretty cool to see. And then, yeah, that's well up. Tried to do it really smooth and I got 80% turn shape. And the lines are also looking pretty good, as we see here. The app, which is the heart and soul of this product. Immediately when I saw that they were cutting away the pressure sensor, I thought, shit, what metrics am I going to lose? Like fore and aft, outside ski pressure, early weight transfer. And I got some good news for you. Out of these mentioned, we're only going to lose the outside ski pressure, which I think is a shame, because I notoriously fall over on the inside sometimes. as I'm trying to like incline into turn, then crank in the outside ski pressure a bit later to get high edge angles. And it's not always going so well. And then I crash and it goes ding, ding, great turns. So the way they manage to maintain this balanced metric is by using this acceleration of your feet. Because Carv is then using like how the feet are accelerating and decelerating slightly underneath you to predict your fore and aft. But don't take my words for it. Let's talk to the co-founder of Proof and he'll explain it better. So now we're gonna have a look at how on earth they can predict fore and aft movement using acceleration. I'm here with Proof CTO Carv.
Hey guys, so let's look at some of your turns from earlier today, and we're just going to zoom into some of the turns. Here you can see that the green part is the gravity axis, and we're going to use this to identify the start and end of the turn. So the point where it's at the top is at the transition where you're a bit weightless, and then you're going to the other turn here. And what we can see here is in the orange line, which is the acceleration axis going forward, that the boot starts to accelerate forward. And this is the early forward movement, which is the point at the transition where you are ahead of the boots. Just after transition, you're ahead of the boots, and the boots will accelerate forward to catch up with you. And that's the part that you can see here where it's above zero. One of the challenges with trying to measure this with a pressure sensor is sometimes when you ski and you lean forward, you put a lot of pressure on the cuff, and you also drive a lot of force through the heel. So this actually gets picked up as you leaning backwards, which is the opposite of what's happening. So we found that using the accelerometer data, we actually have a much cleaner signal of what's happening with your upper body.
So if I'm saying it in my words, after transition, the body is then going diagonally across the skis into this forward movement. So it takes a shortcut there, and then the skis are decelerating in that moment.
Exactly.
And then later on they're catching up again.
Yeah, that's correct.
Cool stuff, man. You guys have done great. It's dope. So let's look at what's new in the app. Straight away when you open the app, you end up on the U page, which is pretty neat. You get an overview of your last couple of ski resorts you've been, your top ski IQ, same as before. But where it gets exciting to me is when you press ski. You can choose audio coaching on or off. I'm gonna have it on at the moment because I wanna hear what's up. And then you get some options here. So you get 3 levels, or 4 actually, of coaching. You get ski IQ only, to have that read out every once in a while. Like, how good was it? Are you really getting better? If you want minimal, that's suitable if you're skiing with a group of friends. Then you get ski IQ and tips. I think this is my personal favorite. It gives me tips if I really stop on the slope or on the chairlift. Then the next one is real-time feedback, where you get little tips and blinks and that you're hitting your targets after every turn. This is quite tiresome to do, and I would recommend to not do it too often, just a couple of runs a day, and be really focused and diligent on the metric you want to improve upon. And then the last one is monitor, where you can, for example, have your edge angle read out after every single turn. And that's also a bit tiresome, and don't do it too much. So I got an amazing pitch here, and I think I'm going to change the audio mode to the real-time one, and I'm going to get way more feedback. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, baby! It was perfect steepness for me to practice. Like shooting the skis up to the side, I have to get higher edge angle. And I just get positive sounds every time right now. Because I'm doing pretty alright turns. Woo, it raised my target. Yeah. Woo. Oh boy. It did a good job pushing me. And bing, 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 getting it. And one of the things I learned with Carv in the last few years, when you do some of the modes, like start a bit too easy if you're a little bit good, but then give it a few hours of skiing and it gets super hard usually. So I love the following thing the most. You can now choose your focus metric. And this used to quite bum me out in the past, because I would get feedback just generally on my skiing, maybe on the foot roll, the early edging, while I was maybe focusing on something completely different. Now, you know, if I had another fellow ski instructor train me and it's like, Jens, you need to work on whatever it might be, extra high edge angles, I can choose that and have the coaching target that thing that I'm working together with my coach, for example. So that's pretty neat. There's a couple of exciting new updates when you go to activity, choose your day, and then you go into like your run history. And then the first thing you'll see there, that you'll see the name and difficulty of the run, like green, red, black, etc. And also how steep it is in degrees. And most exciting of it all, it will detect what type of terrain you're on. And it will have 4 main categories where it goes from smooth to uneven to moguls and lastly powder. And then that's going to change like what kind of feedback it gives you, and also if you can rip and lay it down like a sick carve turn on choppy bullshit terrain, it's going to give you pretty sweet ski IQ, because you'll know that's some hard technical terrain you were skiing. But I'm excited to see the use of vertical movements in powder and how more people are hopefully going to learn to ski powder with this rhythmic short turns where you're bouncing up and down the snowpack that I so often talk about. I like how it's got a more educational when you go into the metrics. If you click on edging, for example, now you got this nice 2 turns going down there with an overlay of like where did you have the highest edge angle. And this picture in the old app used to be static. Now on the new one, they actually change the turn shape depending on what it looked like for you. Are you doing like zigzaggy turns, which are not good, or are they more like banana shaped like we want them? See if we can get the turn shape up from 41% to higher. I'm not happy with that score. They're my short turns, so I try to make them a little bit bigger now so that I can maybe express a really smooth shape. And the voice in my ear is pretty happy with some happy sounds going bing, bing. Nice. It's increased my target to 65%. So we started with a target of like 1%, which I obviously crushed immediately, then raised it to 65%. And when I like did pretty good short turns, I thought it was 41%. 65 is quite a lot better. And I got some of it done. So just like the tactical change I decided to do to make the turns a little bit bigger. First to feel the round shape. And then now I think I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit more, because it seems like maybe I can be up to around 65% with the easy way I just did. Let the speed build up a little bit, so it's a good idea. There we go. Oh, hit it. Hit it. I'm skidding the whole way. Seems like I can get it. Oh, it's increasing to 69% now. Let's have the speed build up a little bit more. See if we can also do it with a bit more aggressive turn. Another cool thing about Ski IQ right now is because Carv now can detect whatever terrain you're on. If you're on like a smooth groomer, choppy, moguls, or powder. It will reward you differently depending on where you're skiing. Our first impression, I can't believe this lady gave me a Ski IQ one like 34 and then 126. Last time I was really trying to push this metric, I got 162, and yeah. I like this new challenge because it frustrates me and I want to show her that I can do it better. The experience. Let's talk about the experience using the app. Since the audio coaching is in your ear, into your brain, it's important that you can choose how much feedback you're getting, because you don't want to get feedback all the time, because you also maybe want to enjoy the view or hanging out with your friends without someone talking into your ear. And then you could just, choose record and hear nothing. The main one I've been experimenting with in the last couple of days is the real-time feedback mode. I started out using the automatic mode, where the app would choose a key metric for me to work on depending on my skiing. I think this is great for beginning, intermediate, advanced skiers. I'm a bit beyond that, and it didn't work fantastic for me. It would choose often a metric that was a bit too basic, that I already had control of. In the real-time feedback mode, I've then been experimenting with trying different edging metrics like early edge angle, progressive edge build, and just edge angle, which has been really fun. But as it changes your target metric depending on the terrain, like a steep pitch, it's gonna give you one metric, and then if it flattens out, it's gonna change the target metric for you. And I found that it was changing a bit too much, to like sometimes too easy, sometimes too hard. It generally was pushing my skiing and making me a little bit more focused and a little bit better, but I didn't love it.
So my issue with the active coaching, that it changes how much edge angle I need to achieve on different pitches, was to go to customize and then choose fixed, then my focus metric edge angle, and then set it exactly. I want to reach 70 degrees, so I put it on 65. I found it to be too demotivating otherwise.
Audio feedback, try to vary your edge angle. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna do different shape turns. Internalize what it feels like. Feels like a pretty good warm-up for me today. Okay, let's vary the edge angles a little bit here. Big wide slope, we start with some really big turns. Low edge angle. Really big. Giving me loads of time. I'll try to sharpen them up a little bit. More edge angle, more outside ski pressure, much more physically demanding. Try big again, take it easy. Incline, get them. This is awesome. This is a 5 out of 5 groomer right now. Try doing it smaller again. Woo! That is like multiple funnels here. Ooh, yeah. That felt amazing. Let's see if Carv agrees. Oh, 151 as well. So much better skiing for me there. You know, with a steeper slope, you can always get higher edge angles easier, because you need some speed to do that, because you lose some speed carving it up. Ooh, I'm out of breath here at 3,500 meters. That was such a good run, and I love skiing. So she just told me I increased my edge angle to 57 degrees, which I'm not that happy with, but you know, it's better than the run before. And she told me that it's essential for controlling your speed, and high edge angles, they both feel and look awesome. And I agreed with this statement 100%. Ski IQ. I feel like it has gotten a bit harder to score like 150 plus than it used to be. And I like it, because it motivates me. I'm like, I want to go up in the 160s again. But I've been told by the developers they're trying to make the spread between like elite skiers bigger. And I can feel it. It's a bit harder. Let's look at Carv's biggest problem, which is that it only measures what's going on in your boots, and they can lead to some problems. Let's look at common issue, which is the A-frame, which is when you're carving like this, the inside ski has a much flatter edge angle, so they're not edged the same, so they won't carve identical. This often happens because the hip is rotated outward, and this is happening. And then the coaching might be that roll your inside ski onto the little toe to get the same edge angle. And maybe you do it and the metric goes up a lot, but maybe your hip is still pointing out. This is a problem. But you can fix it by A, getting some good coaching or ski instructing, or B, have a friend film you, do some video analysis, and you can pick up what's going on with your upper body. I believe that the audio coaching is suitable for the beginner, intermediate, and advanced skiers, but once you're well beyond expert, kind of like myself, the feedback isn't that great. It is far too basic. But I gotta say, this isn't a big deal. It will still make you better because it makes me really motivated. I know what my goals are, hip on the snow, need high edge angles, and he will tell me that constantly. Because I know that Lady Carv, she's watching and judging, and I want to impress her. Should you buy it? Well, that depends on you. If you're a keen skier and you want to get better, and you want to have more fun skiing, then yes. And you probably need to go ski some more too. If you only go ski 1 week a year, still be worth it. It's cheaper than ski instructors and it will make you better. And also I would recommend it to people at my level. You know, I used it to build up towards the level 4 ski instructor exam to monitor my progress, and it did keep me accountable and much more motivated. So it's good for like a broad level of ability, but it's, you know, it's definitely better for the bottom 95% where you actually get like valuable feedback. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you find this video useful, and stay put for our future ski tutorials, and maybe join one of our ski technique camp straddles where we use Carv to make you better.